Anyway, what I'm going to do tonight is do some preparation for my application, and it's nothing intense at all. So I'm going to create a calendar of sorts, or break down the tasks that I need to do in regards to the amount of time. So I've got 7 weeks until the deadline, the early deadline. In those 7 weeks, I just need to list down the things that I need to do. So obviously there's like loads of different questions. Maybe I'll just do it online. I was going to do it like written out. Obviously I need to decide what course I want to do, which I'm hoping to do this week. So there are 6 questions, and then you've also got to add in your previous experience on a different page. So those obviously are the bits that will take the longest. So if there are 6 questions, so 6 questions, 7 weeks, I probably won't start any questions this week, but oh gosh, this is so tricky. Oh my gosh, I don't have much time at all. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to plan. I'm just going to time lapse it and then probably talk you guys through my thought process. So I just began by drawing out my calendar thing. So on the side it says Declan Psy, so I know what I'm doing. Then I wrote the different weeks, so week 1, week 2, week 3 and so on and so forth, and then also included the dates. So starting with week 1, I decided that I wanted to take it easy and ease myself into the whole process. So I decided that I would do the timeline, basics, I wanted to pick my courses and do the qualifications section. Then for week 2, I wanted to do my experience section and also look at the person specification and just reflect really. So nothing intense, but just to really think about my experiences and maybe take note of them so that I can prepare for the questions that I'm going to answer in the next couple of weeks. So during this part where I was working on the timeline, I realised that there are only 4 questions which really need answering. So the last 2 aren't necessary. So one of them is about references, and it just asks you to explain why you haven't used a professional reference if you haven't used one. And then the last question is about other relevant information, which I don't know if I'll fill out, so I haven't counted those in this plan. But what I have included is question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, and then finalise and submit. So as you will see, for week 3, I'm doing question 1 plan and writing question 1. I'm also doing that for week 4 as well, because that's the biggest section of the application. Then during week 5, I want to do question 2 plan and then write question 2 itself. And then in week 6, I want to do question 3 plan, question 3, and then question 4, question 5 as well, because those are shorter sections. I'm also unsure as to whether I'm going to answer question 5, so I've put that in there as well. During week 7, I just want to finalise and submit. So what I mean by that is to just read through and check for grammatical errors and play around with the wording a little bit. Hey everyone, so it's been a couple of days since I filmed the last clip, and tonight I plan to tackle the basics bit of the application. I haven't selected my 4 unis yet, but I'm nearly there. I think I've narrowed it down to 5, and so I'm working on it. I'm just letting it simmer in my brain a little bit, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to do the basics bit of the application, which is kind of scary. There's one thing about this process that I really don't enjoy, and that is the fact that I don't have much time to do all of this stuff in. So obviously I work a 9 to 5, and then my weekends I want to spend relaxing, I want to wind down, and that's the same with the evenings. I've spent a whole day doing really tricky things and using my brain a lot, like I'm tired, and then I have to do this. So that's why I've tried to break it down to smaller bits. Is all of the basic information, I'm guessing. So it's asking me about my undergraduate, so I did mine at the University of Sussex. Title BSc. See, that's interesting. This is something I didn't realise I needed to do, was get all of these different documents. So I need to email my university and I need to write that down so I don't forget. Earlier today actually I watched a really good video by a girl on YouTube who you guys have probably watched, the Oxford Psych. She has gotten onto the doctorate first time round and her YouTube channel is fantastic. She's really informative and really appreciate her channel. So go check her out. I'll link the video down below, but she gave some really good tips for the applications, and she said really think about your references. And hey everyone, so I'm finally filming this little bit. So what I wanted to talk about briefly is how I'm choosing the courses that I'm going to apply for. And obviously this time round it's a practice. I keep saying that in this video, but it is a practice for me. So it's really kind of like no pressure. I don't have to spend too much time thinking about where I'm applying to, but obviously I do have to put some thought into it, otherwise this would be a pointless kind of application. I'm just going to open up my spreadsheet which I've made. Okay, so as you guys can see, I've just made a table which has the university, number of years of experience needed. I put down whether you need a master's, and I've also put down the distance from my home. So I ideally would like to stay in London, so that was kind of my first priority. So I found all of the courses that were in and around London and had a reasonable kind of commute. I don't mind driving a good hour and a bit to and from uni. I'm very much used to it, and with the course you won't be studying most days, although you will be in that area doing placement, so you have to be comfortable with the driving part. So that's kind of my first priority, is its distance from my home. As you can see, I've got University of East London, which is super duper close. I've got University of Essex, King's, UCL, Royal Holloway, University of Surrey, Salomons, Hertfordshire and East Anglia. Obviously East Anglia is really far, but I'll get into why that's on the list in a bit. I then went through each university on Leeds Clearinghouse, which is going to be your best friend in this whole situation. It basically is where you apply to everything. It has all of the information for all of the different unis, and so it's a really valuable resource. There's no way that you would apply to the doctorate without coming across this website. Don't ask me why it's Leeds, because I don't know why it's for Leeds. Anyway, so you can go through all of the different courses and find out their descriptions on this website. After I've done that bit, I found out that I needed, let's take University of East London for example, that I need 12 months of experience paid. I also looked at whether I need a master's. Obviously I don't have a master's and I don't really plan on doing one, so this is a very important factor. And so I put that in as well, and then I also put in the distance from home. So as you can see, the ones highlighted in green are the ones that I can apply to. So I've got enough experience and I don't need a master's. Still got 6 here that are highlighted and I can only apply to 4. So after that, I'm looking currently at the ethos of the course and also what kinds of therapy they focus on. So most courses focus on cognitive behavioural therapy and one other type of therapy typically, and you can find their ethos and things on their website. So at the moment that's kind of where I'm at. Obviously you guys would have seen that I've been starting my application, just putting in my demographic data, but the next part of the application is to choose your universities. Oh, and another thing that I looked at was the ratios of how many places there are for each applicant. So this basically lists how many people apply for one place. So for example, if we look at East Anglia, 15 people apply for one place. Now, I don't know how accurate this data is because it was made by another applicant from a year previous and it was shared on the Declin Sci forum, which is again a really handy resource to be looking at constantly. So that is where I'm at. I'm trying to narrow down what universities I want to be applying for. At the moment, I think I'm going to apply for University of East London because I really do like their ethos and they're nearby. Like honestly, I think they'll be my top choice for forever now. The University of Essex, also nearby. I also work for EPUT, which is linked to University of Essex. So I kind of know how that trust works and I do like how they function, to be honest, so I'm happy with that. UCL obviously is an amazing university. The trainee who's with us at the moment goes there and he's really into it and loves it, and what I like about them is that they learn different kind of models. They put quite a lot of emphasis on learning loads of different things so that you can be quite versatile in your work in the future. I want to apply for the University of Surrey as well because I did my placement there and I did really like what the trainees were saying about it. It's also got quite a low ratio for how many people apply for one place, so that's a good thing as well. Ideally, I'd love to get to interviews this year. That way I can just get feedback. If you don't get to the interview stage, you don't get any feedback at all. So I've also got down Salomons and East Anglia there. I need to look into them a bit more, but East Anglia is very, very far away, but it has got one of the lowest ratios for how many people apply to how many places there are. So that's why that's on there. Hopefully I'm going to find the unis that have very similar ethos and look at very similar models, because you send the same application to every single university. I've still got some tweaking to do to decide what I'm going to be applying for, where I'm going to be applying for, but I think I've made a good start. So there are 2 deadline dates. The first one is on the 21st of October, and that allows you to have £10 off your application fee. I don't know how much the application fee is, to be honest, but when I know, I'll let you guys know. And then the final deadline is on the 18th of November at 1 PM. So put it in your diaries if you're applying. I'm going to aim to apply for the earlier one just so I can save some money. That's kind of my update for where I am in the application process so far, but I'm hoping to later on this week carry on with some of the application and get writing. Hi everyone, so it's now week 2 of me doing the applications and things, and I've finally decided what 4 courses I'm going to be applying for, and I'm just about to write my experience section as well. So the 4 courses that I'm going to apply for this year are the University of East London, University of Essex, Salomons and University of Surrey, and I've just read through all of the descriptions again on Leeds Clearinghouse for each of the courses, and yeah, I'm sold on those 4 for this year. I'm quite excited about that now, and now I'm just doing the experience sections. The word count is 200 for the brief description of main duties bit. I'm doing the relevant experience bit now, and I thought it was going to be relatively easy by just I thought you would just have to kind of put your CV in, but you have to put in a brief description of your main duties. Now it's only 200 words, so I'm guessing you don't have to be reflective in this part. I reckon you just have to kind of state the job description essentially. Loads of really good information can be found on the Assistant Psychologist Facebook page, but there's also a doctorate application one, so I find both of those are really helpful. Also, if you can hear Milo in the background, he's chewing his bone and he's just really loud. It's annoying, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to do this now. Well, try to, at least some of it, and then yeah, what I've also been doing this week is trying to really reflect and think about my experience this year, and just really just think. And when I capture these moments of good learning experiences, I've been putting it down on my phone, a really good time to reflect on my experiences, and then I write down the certain things that I think I've learnt really well from, or certain parts of my life which I think have really moulded me as a person. So when I come to write the personal statement bit, it will be a lot easier, hopefully. I don't know, but I just think having a list of experiences and reflections is really helpful. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing for this evening, and to be honest, I think I'm going to end this vlog now, because the next stage will be writing the actual personal statement bit, which is the really important bit. So thank you guys so much for watching this part. I wish you the best of luck in your applications if you're doing it this year. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this. So until next time guys, I'll see you later.